Hello everyone, my name is Aminat Hansen-Bassi and I am here with Dr. Caroline Sparks of Your Health Concierge. We're about to discuss a few things about the Love Group, which will be starting on the 16th of April 2025. So I will be asking her a few questions about what to expect for the Love Group. Hello, Dr. Sparks.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. So, as you know, we are about to start our Love Group discussion session. And my first question is, what is the Love Group and what inspired you to start it?
The Love Group is intended to be a discussion group of whoever wants to come.
Okay.
And because some people may be concerned about the title, we are using our slogan of try now, pay later. So the first time you might attend,
Yes.
you can attend for free for 2 sessions and then decide whether you really want to continue discussion. I've wanted to do this for a number of years.
Wow.
I'm an admirer of the work of Leo Buscaglia, who taught in the 60s in California, and who suggested to his department that he teach a group called the Love Class. And they were horrified. And I'm a psychologist, and in those days it was not popular at all in psychology to discuss such topics. And one of the funniest stories he tells in his first introduction to his first book is that he was often asked to speak to various conferences and that sort of thing, and he would inevitably be stopped by somebody when he got there who said, well, what do you think you're going to talk about tonight? And he would say, well, love. And they would say, well, you know, that doesn't sound very professional. What's your title? And he would say, well, love. And then they would continue on and say, well, but the press might misunderstand you, and a lot of people who are attending may not understand what you mean. Is there a substitute title you might use? And he said, well, I could say affect is a behavior modifier,
Right.
which makes me laugh every time I see it. Yeah. And they would be fine. You know, they would say, oh, that's a good one. That sounds much more professional. And then he would start talking about love.
Right. Yeah.
And so I once asked a professor of mine, my first year as a graduate student, I said, well, what do you think psychology is? And he actually drew a line across his neck and said to me, from here up. And of course, that's not what psychology is. And so I've been thinking about this for a long time, because the point that Buscaglia makes in his books, and he wrote 25 books, we're starting with the first one that he published, which is just called Love, and he just made the point that if you're lucky enough to have been born into a family that's very loving, then you know something about love as you grow up, and you can practice it. But that if you weren't that lucky, we don't do a very good job of teaching it anywhere. And people grow up not realizing what it is, except for popular things in the press maybe, or things that make it seem like it's just romantic love when it's not. It's any kind of love. And he makes the point too, and we want to have some discussion of this, he makes the point as well that the first thing is you. Love has to come from you. And if you don't know what it is or how to give it, then you're not going to know how to love anyone. So it begins with your understanding of love, and it moves on from there as you can reach out to others, etc. And so I think it's time that we had more discussion of this, and it's still not being discussed very well. He proposed it to his faculty back in the 60s, late 60s, and they said, they were horrified and said, no, we don't think so. there's no topic like that. And so he and some of his students went looking for topics and couldn't find it in psychology literature much at all. And so he proposed teaching the love class at his school, and they finally said to him, "You can teach it, but we won't pay you." And when registration reached 100 every time he taught it, they had to put a cap on it so that they could control how many people were in there trying to have a discussion. And so I find that inspiring.
Indeed.
And that we still need to talk about it.
Yes.
So I'm hoping that people will sign up because they're just interested in it. I think that anybody who's interested in learning more about the topic, I've used it before in other workshops in passing, never for more than about an hour. And this discussion will be about an hour as well. It's going to be on Wednesday evenings from 7 to 8.
Yes.
And anybody that wants to may attend. I do think that people who are of college age, graduate student age, and beyond are best suited for this kind of discussion.
Okay.
It's not that we couldn't do a discussion for kids, but I think that's a different story.
Yes.
And people who just have grown up not satisfied with their understanding of what it means to love.
How do you think this group helps people explore love in their everyday lives?
Well, at the point that I grew up and entered grad school, we were all sort of free hippies, and free love was popular and all that sort of thing. And we talked about all kinds of things. We were in all kinds of groups discussing life and what we thought it was, etc. And people were using each other. I mean, the sexual revolution wasn't exactly one of equality. And I think a lot of people got hurt during those times. And that's not the point. For people who are Christian, we are exhorted to love one another. And people don't necessarily do a great job of it, including all of us, and we need to have time to discuss it and figure out what we mean by it.
Yes. There's something that deeply resonates with you from the book. I know you talked about it briefly in the beginning, but is there anything you'd like to add? Anything in particular? Because the book, the love group is inspired by Leo Buscaglia's writings on love, a specific book called Love. So is there anything, and that's what we'll be focusing on in the group. So is there anything from that group that you'd like to share?
Well, from Buscaglia's point of view, love is a learned phenomenon. And it's something that if you didn't learn anything about it much, or you learned the wrong things about it and what it meant, that you can correct that, and that you can talk more about it with others, and you can learn to give more of yourself, and learn what love can do to improve your life. And I like that interpretation of it, that it's a learned phenomenon. So it's not like you're going to be without love for long times in your life. It's not that. It's what can you do? What do you do to give to others? And some will give something back to you and some won't.
Yeah.
So
that is very, very inspiring. Love is a learned phenomenon.
This is for people to explore their own past and their own issues and expose it to other people, because they're not afraid to do that.
Yeah.
And so I would make a distinction. And while this group will be private, I mean, it's not going to be shown on YouTube, the discussions themselves, I think it's a rare chance for people these days to be open with one another and to explore their own issues. There's no expectation that people will fix themselves, for instance.
Yes,
If
yes,
they,
yes.
but it's a chance to get feedback from me and others.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Caroline Sparks, for your contributions. So if you'd like to sign up, you can find out about more information in our description box below, and have a nice day.